Hello everybody. Welcome to Arch Connect. My name is Annuradha Gandhi. I'm an architect by profession and I am the Deputy HOD at the Arch Academy of Design for the Interior Design Department. Today's webinar is on the education and industry of interior design. For that, I have prepared a small PPT, a PowerPoint presentation, which I would like to share with you, in which we will go on a journey to understand how to become an interior. Okay, so here we go on a journey on how to become an interior designer. For that, this presentation is prepared in we're going to ask ourselves broadly 4 questions. What kind of projects does an interior designer work on? What kind of aesthetic skills does an interior designer need? And what technical and professional skills would an interior designer need to communicate with the other professionals in the trade and to get the job done? And lastly, but very importantly, how will this course at Arch Academy enhance your learning experience, and what can you expect to achieve? Okay, so now that we have understood the 4 questions, the primary questions that we are going to engage in this webinar, it starts with your passion. Are you passionate about interior design? Do you look through interior design magazines? Do you enjoy them and dream about how you can work things around you to enhance your experience of the space around you every day? So for that, what kind of interior spaces do you like to see? Okay, never mind. So first thing, as an interior designer in a small space, in a course structure, how we teach is that we start engaging ourselves with the objects around us, and like the chairs, the tables, and there have been some very renowned object designers, furniture designers, like Zaha Hadid, Charles Eames, Herman Miller, and Rene McIntosh. He was from the arts and crafts period. If you have the time, take a look at them. They are really exciting pieces of furniture which even in today's day we use. Homes and apartments. Homes and apartments are the places where we live in, we are most comfortable in, and we identify to them. Then we personalize those spaces for ourselves. These are places where we share with our loved ones, and especially in today's world where nowadays we all live in apartments which look similar to our friends and everyone, there's a prototype. But what we do is we get an interior which is us, which defines us, which when people come we identify to. This is restaurants and retail. These are public spaces for day-to-day interaction. This is where we go out with our friends. So our approach to interior design, as I'm mentioning this to you, you have to see how we look at these spaces and how we approach them as an interior designer. These are more, like stage settings for us to enjoy. Whereas when I talked about the homes in the last slide, that was more about our comfort zone, where we bring our things, we grow in those. These are where we have our celebrations. And they're also commerce, we engage with people over here. These are offices and workspaces. And you must have seen how they are evolving day to day. They are different for different people. As soon as we enter an office, we know whether it belongs to an architecture firm, or it's a corporate office for a lawyer's office. It has that identity again. We make sure that that's projected. And the next thing, and also that we spend most of our time in these spaces. They need to inspire us. We engage with our colleagues in these. And if you look carefully in these pictures, you'll see how complicated these spaces are to put together. The electrical, the central air control, and we also do take care of using sustainable material. We'll talk all about that later. Hotels and resorts. These are places that make you feel special, don't they? I mean, when we go for holidays and how much fun we have, we forget our day-to-day worries. And they're like a home away from home. They also give us the comfort. Oh, and okay, this is another category I added. This is very relevant too. This is an interior of a 1900 house designed by a very famous architect called Lloyd Wright. This was my project. I worked on this for 6 years. It's about the restoration of the interior. Now it's a museum. People go see it. It's a live museum, and it was all restored. So the interior, the table, the chairs, they were designed in the 1900s. It's called the Prairie style. It's by Lloyd Wright in Chicago. And that lamp you say, it was when electricity had just come, and it's made of brass. And there's art glass. Can you see how the art glass windows in the lower left and right hand corner? Those are art glass windows. Okay, now we come to the aesthetic skills that an interior designer needs. To start an interior design project, what we need to do is we need to generate an exciting concept. And to generate the concept, we need to be good observers. We need to be creative. We need to look around us. Creation always is happening around us, and we need to get aware of it. That's what we as institutes do. We structure the learning of that. We make you understand the various styles and designs of vernacular, modern, technological, art deco. These are all styles that happened over the periods in interior design and other design fields. So we go through a series of exercises that makes us aware of the various styling of interior design. We do exercises in color and style detail, how contrasting various colors bring out a lot of emotions. I'm sure you're aware, if you practice with them and if you draw and you paint, you'll see that how colors are very attached to our emotional feelings. Then we also learn about scale, proportion, rhythm, emphasis on light. Light, have you seen how a room can look how different when depending on the light, the way it's lit? Light has a lot of effect on the way light can create a focus on something that we want, and can also dissipate, or it can make a room look larger and smaller. Try that. Form, mass, pattern, these are all exercises that we do that help us create the good aesthetic sensibility towards our design, being an interior designer. Now we come to the technical skills. They are very essential, and hardworking gets you there. The technical skills and the aesthetic skills do go hand in hand. They're equally important. This is making of a functional program for a client's requirements. That's where it starts. We understand our client's requirements. We engage with our client and come down to understand their aspirations and their desires, and then we generate various design options. One doesn't work. We have to always get to where our client's happy and we are happy, aesthetically, functionally. And once the design option is generated, then we move forward to doing technical drawings. And these drawings are what we learn in a structure design, interior design course. So these technical drawings are also done nowadays in our technological world. For that, we have to learn various softwares such as Sketchup. Sketchup is a very fun software too. It takes a little while to learn, but you can quickly generate a lot of 3Ds. And you know, one major issue that we as designers need to, you know, skill ourselves in is how to communicate in our 3D vision. We visualize something and we need to then engage with our clients and our contractors to explain that to him. SketchUp helps a lot in that. And then AutoCAD. AutoCAD is a tool that every architect, designer, engineer, everyone uses this tool. It helps us make our drawings in detail so that we can communicate to our contractors. And then Revit. Revit is it's a parametric software. It's next step, and we all need to now start learning it. But it's the next stage. And here at Academy, we have started teaching you, and it is the next thing. It's how we take our Revit drawings. It makes 3D drawings on its own. See, in AutoCAD, we have to make our drawings and details, and then we make 3Ds. Whereas Revit works as a parametric, on parametric details. So it makes 3Ds itself, and then we can actually take it to a CNC or a fabrication machine, which we have here at Arch Academy, and we'll go through the process with you while in the learning, in your learning course. And that is where the world is headed. So we will be generating our products, prototypes for our products right there, from Revit to CNC to fabrication. Very exciting times in the technological part of interior design. Then comes preparing plans, specifications, and mood boards. So that's the last stage. This is the stage where we make all our drawings, write all our specifications. Specification is like, you know, if you have to even make a small table, you need to write down what kind of material, how you want the joinery to be done. I mean, that's a very small table, but we do it for as interior designers, as you'll be doing it too for larger complex buildings. You have to write all of that down. And then mood boards. Mood boards are interesting. Mood boards where we put, as I said, color is very color, texture. These are things that affect our emotions. So those are the mood boards. We put our colors which go together, textures that go together, that we are looking forward to have in our design. Now, this is the third major part of our interior design, and a very essential part. It's effective communication. It's how we communicate, and interior design is actually a very entrepreneurish field. You need to be constantly engaging with people. We have a lot of consultants in our profession, dealing with various consultants such as architects. Architects are the ones who do the bare bone building for us, in which we do our interior design. Engineers, structural engineer, who make the structure for the building, and we need to really engage with them if we want to move some wall here or there in our design. So we need to engage with them. Mechanical, there is a lot of mechanical that goes in a building, and electrical, all the electrical wiring and everything. The plumbing, all the bathrooms and all. If you're doing ever an interior of a bathroom, you would need to know how the plumbing happens in case, you know, you need to move something or you need to change location. And in complicated projects, it gets more. And fire protection. Fire is a very essential, it's a safety factor. So these are all the, we have various consultants for all of this. We learn them at a basic stage in our school, but in our colleges, but we then consult with the consultants. Then the estimators and the planners, they help a lot. They tell us how much it's going to cost for our, and what is going to be the time frame that it takes for our projects to be done. Then we come to managing our contracts. We sign contracts with all our contractors. We have a lot of, sometimes we have one big contractor, sometimes we have smaller contractors which help sign, and being very clear in these communication fields of ours makes our project go very smoothly. And this is all the training that we give, especially in Arch Academy. We do a lot of live projects and real projects in the community. Like we are here in Jaipur, and we plan to, and we do already, engage in the society and do projects here. So our contracts need to be contractors with the building trade. We go through them, and then we have agreements that we need to sign, negotiations that we need to do. Business development is also an essential factor. Business development is what gets us our new projects. We need to go meet new clients, engage with people, and also write about interior design and explore more interior design options. Okay, so here is what the courses that we offer here at the Arch Academy. At Arch Academy, we have a very interesting course. This is a tie-up with an international UK organization, which is the Pearl. It's called the Pearson's H&D Level 5 course, and this we give a certificate. This we give a diploma, a 4-year diploma in, and then there is another postgraduate course, which there's another postgraduate course where graduates come after 3 years of graduation. They do a two-year interior design and entrepreneurship course. And the third one that is very significant is a vocational program, which is a 3-year course. It's a 3-hour-a-day program. And in this course, we teach a lot more technical skills. So now we go back to this. The first one, which is a Pearson's Higher National Diploma course for Level 5. In this one, it's a very holistic kind of approach to interior design course. It gives you a diploma in 4 years, and then you also have a choice to go to a university in the UK for 1 year and convert it, and it'll be get a top up into a degree and degree in interior design, which is a great opportunity. And in this course we have our courses are structured as such that we define them into 3 different categories. One is, as I said, the aesthetic part of it. The other is the technical part of it, and the third is the communication and part of it. So in the aesthetic part of it, we start doing exercises, and we start from a personal small scale to a residential scale that will be doing apartments and residences and interiors and all. And then we lead to a public scale. We understand the complexity of an interior design in a public building like a school, an institute like ours, or public buildings of that nature. And then then we go on to the scale of commercial and retail buildings. So there's a complexity level that increases. And then after that, we also do a research project here. There's research into material. Arch Academy is got a very nice workshop where we can explore on our materials. So we do a proper exploration in materials. We have vendor engagements. We have interior designers who come and give inspirational talks. And then also we have planned to do field trips where we will go do measure drawings and start documenting historic areas, as that's also a very strong field in interior design. Any specific questions? I would like to take those. So my first question is, what is the main differentiation between an interior design and an architect? Okay, the architect does the exterior of a building. The architecture course, as you know, does the bare bones. It makes the envelope or the exterior, the outside of the building. Our learning is very similar. We all, because we are both designers, we learn we do the aesthetic learning. Like I said, we did it in 3 parts: aesthetic, technical, and communication. So the technical level in ours is of a different nature than the architect. The architect needs to engage a lot with the structural engineer. They need to make the external of the building. We do the inside, the closer to a human touch. We need to be really creating spaces within spaces that have already been defined for us. And their course is 5 years, if you want to know, and ours is the interior design course will be 4 years. And we work very closely with architects, and we work hand in hand. And because sometimes when we even get into a project before the project is built, so we can actually give our input to the architect and undergo under discussion and decide how we want it to be. Very similar professions. We have same kind of learning. We work on the same tools, the AutoCAD, SketchUp, Revit, and we need to engage very, very closely now to think of it in our, because once we make our drawings, we give them to the architect if the architect is still involved in the project. And then they fine-tune their exterior of the building with our interior of the building. It works back and forth. We do both. But yeah, that's what it is. Okay, the next question. How do you think is the relationship between an interior designer and other careers like architecture and design? How do you think is the relationship between interior designer and other careers like architecture and product design? Okay, you're almost on the same line too. As I said, all these 3 professions, they all start, actually they're all design courses. They all start from the same platform. We have to, it's basically we are training ourselves as designers. We are enriching our aesthetic sensibilities. And you know, like I said, the exercises in color, the exercises in form and shape and proportion, we all go through those. We all go through you know, trying to make a coming with enriching concepts. The only thing is the product designer goes into a lot of detail of a product, if you put it like this. Then it comes the interior designer. He makes the space around the product and makes it, and we're all dealing with the human level also. So it's not that we are not. And then after that, it's the architect who makes the 3rd layer, the building around it. Whether we go from outside to inside or inside to outside. But we all very tightly related to each other. We all understand each other's language, and we are all at the same level who need to engage and have a dialogue with each other. And we all also need to understand the market trends and aspire to aspirations of the society and engage. How is interior design related to architecture? I hope you heard my first answer. It's similar. It's the same. It's very related. We are like brothers and sisters. I'm waiting for my next question. Oh. How is interior design related to architecture? Tanya? What kind of job opportunity opens up in the industry after graduating from a design school? Okay, lots of job opportunity. This is the time to be an interior designer. It's a very gratifying course right now, and there's a lot of scope for it. In our Indian market, I mean, look at it, the infrastructure is growing rapidly. We have huge housing developments, we have retail coming in, we have so much commercial development, and all of this will require an input of an interior designer. And what we do is, once we clear our course, depending on our passion and our input, how we want to go about it, I mean, we can either become design entrepreneurs, we can actually get into the industry and start on our own, or we can join an architecture firm or an interior design firm and start working as interior designers there. Again, we'll be doing all that stuff just with another firm, or we can also join the design management as a design manager in a huge retail and branding kind of industry. Okay, we have this question. I would like to specialize in the hospitality interior after my graduation. What should I do? You should start by joining the interior designing course, because our course is very holistic. It will cover, it has to start like that. You know, like you're saying hospitality industry, you would need to know how to do the interiors of small rooms. It's like how you gain your specialization is more with experience, but you have to climb the ladder the way it is. You know, you'll have to start with the understanding the scale around you, again with aesthetics, with technical skills, with communication skills, and scale around you, then the residential scale. It's a hierarchy of scales which gets you all to there, you know. And then when you as you are in the profession, you will be specializing into the hospitality industry. And once this course is essential, it will give you direction, it will give you structure, and it will also be, as you said, that you know, we will guide you. It's essential. And what else? Okay, I have another question. How frequently an interior designer has to upskill or upgrade his or her knowledge? It's a constant thing. You need to constantly, I mean, as I said, it has to be a passion. You need to passion it, and I'm sure you are. Everyone is. Everyone engages. See, that's the thing. We all understand interior design around us. And then after that, when you come to us or to a structured course, we help you define it, structure it in your mind. And you need to engage in the industry. There is the materials. We need to explore materials. There's always new materials coming in the market. There are always new styles being developed in the market. There are always new aspirations of people around you. So it's how our society is developing, and we are also as interior designers there. And especially the vendors, you need to be engaging with the vendors and the materials that are coming in the market, and also the systems that are happening. Can an interior designer also design landscapes and gardens? Sure, an interior design can design landscapes and gardens. And landscape is an outdoor thing. You can have an indoor landscape too. There's botanical arboretums where you have a huge inside garden. Those are an architect can do, an interior designer can do that, and a little knowledge you would need. But this is the thing, when you commit to become a designer, as somebody had just said, whether when all can I have to update my knowledge, you have to keep growing. Every time you get a new project, you have to keep engaging with the and learning about it. Like if I was to get to do it in landscape, I would need to understand about plants, which would be something I can. I'll have consultants and work with them. So yeah, is PG compulsory after UG in interior design from a regular college? No, PG is not compulsory after UG in interior design. After UG, you can get into the interior design industry. You can get to work. And if you want to go into UG, we'll make it a little more, you know, UG course is more concentrated on the theoretical side of it. You'll be doing assignments. If you want to become a critique in interior design, or you want to become an academician in interior design, then certainly. Or it also teaches, in RPT, we teach business skills. We also discuss branding and trending, which is a new aspect of interior design, with all these big retailers coming into the market. is there a class of structural engineer or basis of structural studies in an undergraduate? No, actually that's the thing. It has to be very clear. We do not have to study structures. We have to understand structures. We don't have to study, or we want, as interior designers, we are not expected to design a structure or a building around us. We just need to understand simply how the structural system around is with us. So like if it's a load bearing structure, this is nowadays that they make concrete structures with infill walls which are easy for us to remove, or if it's a load bearing structure where there is which was done in the olden days, where all the walls were of bricks and they were taking the load of the complete structure. So we have to consult somebody before we make an opening in it. And but when we do a small little object designing, that gives us a little bit of structure, but there's no structures as a course. No. Is it necessary to be from a specific stream, commerce, science, or arts, for pursuing this specialization? No, as I said, we all experience interior design. It's all around us. It's just that we need to be into a structured learning to start engaging with it and start being professionally productive in it. No, we don't need to have any special field as such. But yeah, if you sketch, you draw, if you like to look at interior design magazines, explore ideas on your own, that would be very nice. A nice portfolio of sketches where you, because going to any design college or any, moment you commit yourself to a design course or you desire to be in a design course, go ahead, go sketch a lot. And that you'll notice, or take photographs a lot. You'll notice that you start observing a lot more. Some things that you start taking for granted around you. And that's a great ability to realize that. Anyone can do it. But if you aspire to be a designer, it's a very nice thing. And then it also opens your hand up a little. You start by sketching, you if you sketch every day a little, then you start, your hand improves. And then you get a portfolio, which you're going to be very proud of when you try and apply to an interior design school. And it's good for an interior design course too. What's the difference between interior designer and interior decorator? Okay. Interior design is you have to learn it here in a structured course. And you can be inspired by magazines, but it's something that you design. Whereas interior, you have to design it on your use your technical skills and your aesthetic skills and design interior design and get it executed. Where with contractors and all, as I mentioned earlier, but an interior decorator is somebody, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not needed, it's very essential. It's like setting things up. It's like putting things together, and it's like you can assemble things together. And it's a very essential art. It also requires aesthetic sensibilities. How to set things up, how to put them together to make it look nice. That's an interior decorator. Like you can have some stores from where you pick up the furniture from, some stores where you pick up the props from, something that you put together, you put a color on the wall to enhance it, but it doesn't go in the depths of designing of an object. It is part of, I would say interior decorator is part of an interior designer. Can an interior designer make changes and shapes? Can an interior designer make changes in shapes and forms of a house? Sure, an interior designer can make changes, as I said, but you have to be in consultation with the architect or the structural engineer or both, and also you have to justify whether it's very essential. And that happens when you make drawings, and yes, you can make changes, you can make alterations, but it has to be done with consultation with the proper what do you call, consultants, which are the architects and the structural engineers. Sometimes even the electrical and the mechanical engineers would come in play, because maybe the HVAC wire, the air conditioning is running through a wall which you want to remove. So you would need to consult what you do, how you remove it. And yeah, you can make changes, as long as, I mean, you would want to justify, or you know, you want to figure out why you need to make that change. How does it enhance your interior design? Keeping Indian consumers in mind, what would you suggest is the question. Keeping Indian consumers in mind, what would you suggest students who want to take Indian interior design? I suggest it's a very gratifying experience. It is a market that is on the rise. We have a lot of need of good interior designers. It's sorted out. They have sorted out career options. And as I said, there is so much of housing stock coming up, and there is so much of retail market coming up. We have new institutions coming. Everything requires an interior designer. As I said, it enhances the experience. Everyone wants to. And with the people, and even the middle class now, as I said, you know, we all taking apartments, small little apartments, which look alike to our neighbors. We want them to look like ours. We want them to identify who we are. And we want to, and also there is lots of material in the market. People's aspirations, you need to, they need you to design. There is plenty in the market. So I think it is the right time for an Indian student to go ahead and take interior design. Many opportunities. You can start your own interior design firm, and you can work with a big interior design. Actually, that's the other thing. There are big multinational architecture companies coming into the Indian market to deliver, and they all need interior designers. Every big multinational architecture company has an interior design department, and you get to work on large scale projects. And another aspect of interior design that is also coming up, we have a lot of biopharma and technical buildings coming up in India, and they require a lot of interior specialized interior designing, which happens when you join the specialized course after this, maybe, or as you are in the market. You learn slowly, and there is plenty. I would think it's the right time. It's for an interior design. If a student has the passion and the desire, they should do interior design, and we are running a very nice course here. I've also heard about spatial designing. Can you please explain? Spatial designing. Spatial comes from space. It's the organization of the space around you, or within a space, enclosed space, or on a public space or a residential space. That's what spatial designing is, very simply, and it is part of interior design. We do a lot of spatial design exercises, because it begins once an interior design. If you see, you have to do an interior design. It's a 3D exercise. It's a 3D visualization exercise. So the first part is you take it into 2D as a spatial exercise, where you take a 2D space and you do the design. It brings about efficiency. It brings about the best way on a drawing. Instead of doing any mistakes, you figure out how best you want to organize or reorganize your things, your objects. Can you please share different career prospects like exhibition design, visual merchandising? Okay. See, as I said in the beginning, there are plenty of aspects to our interior design. Interior design is a residence, a house, an apartment, and there is interior designing of commercial spaces. There is interior designing of public spaces like institutes, like schools and colleges and government buildings. And there is also interior design of hospitals, which is a very complex project where you have to engage a lot with, as I said, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing consultants, because all the services have to go to there. Have you ever wondered, when next time you go look up, there is a huge false ceiling, and that takes all the services of so now where we come now, so exhibition design. Exhibition design is a great fun part of interior design. It's stressful because it has to be done in a design. As I said, in festivals, when in our society, in our community, in festivals, we quickly put up a festivity by decorating around us. It uplifts us. Similarly, exhibition spaces where we hold. Sometimes there are product exhibitions. Craftsmen come in, and that's also part of an interior design. But those are not permanent spaces. They need to come up fast, and they have a certain special way of dealing with them. So that's a job opportunity too. They're exhibition designers. Then what's the third one that we said? Vendors. We work with a lot of vendors. Vendors need our input. In the Western world, every time we do a design, we need and give it to a vendor. They need us to provide. We need the vendor to provide us with shop drawings, and that's coming here too. So vendors will be employing interior designers too, who understand the mechanics of the material they're dealing with, and then they can provide shop drawings. So that's another job opportunity, like the aluminum fabrications of windows, or the new wood construction, wood material that we're getting. Those kind of vendors will also require to engage with interior designers for the preparation of shop drawings. Thank you for attending this session with us. If you have queries, please speak with our Student Satisfaction Officer at 941-4070-678. or write to us at admission@archeud, which is archedu.org. Thank you. I hope I could answer some of your queries.